India's largest commodity exchange, MCX, suffered a technical glitch which led to a trading halt of nearly 4.5 hours, the longest till date. Normal trading commenced at 1:25 p.m. instead of the regular 9 a.m. A special session was held for about 4 minutes before that to allow members to cancel their pending orders. The exchange has said that all systems are functioning normally now. A probe has been initiated and priority and MCX is working to identify the cause and implementing the necessary corrective measures. We learned from sources that the delay was due to an issue with the trading system gateway. Sources also tell CNBC TV 18 that the decision to move operations to the disaster recovery site took more time. As per the SEBI guidelines, MCX will have to report to the regulator the cause and impact of delay of trade. Now, this is not the first time that the exchange has faced an issue this year. A trading glitch was also reported on 23rd of July in 2025 itself. Trading began after an hour's delay on that day at 10:15 a.m. The MCX cited repetitive database issues as the cause. There were at least 2 such instances last year also. On July 9th, trading commenced at 10 a.m. after the delay of an hour, while a glitch forced off shutdown of operations for 4 hours in the month of Feb. The trading commenced only at 1 p.m. after several delays, leaving traders perplexed. This was reportedly linked to MCX migration to a new trading platform. Then, back in October 2023, the new software developed by TCS met with teething troubles. The exchange faced some initial delay in updating trade-related information. Trading that day also was halted twice on MCX on July 11, 2018, following tech glitches. A problem was first encountered at 11:46 a.m., but then normal trading resumed after an hour. However, it was halted again at 1:43 p.m. and resumed after nearly 2 hours. In another instance, trading was stopped on the platform for more than 45 minutes. This was way back in September 2017. The exchange restarted the trading system and special session was held at 7:25 p.m. To discuss the implications of these tech glitches, we are now joined by Ajay Kedia. He's director at Kedia Commodities. We have Dinesh Somani, founder at Pro IntelliTrade Services, and Rakesh Jain is president of Commodity Participation Association of India. Gentlemen, hi. Thank you so much for joining in. We also are, of course, joined by Navneet Damani from Motilal Oswal. This really has been a bit of a concern, would you say, Ajay, because while it has happened twice in this year itself, it has been happening for some time now, especially since MCX moved on to TCS. There have been teething problems and then there have been some other technical glitches as well. But right now, I mean, in today's day and time, a 4-hour and 25-minute of a delay that we were forced with today, especially at a time when we did see gold and silver prices cracking down. There has been volatility in energy and in base metals. And given the fact that 98% of commodity derivative trading happens on MCX, this is a difficult day for traders, right?
Yeah, surely, Manisha, because see, one thing is very much clear, the system has already been upgraded and TCS is a very well-known face in market. And after the migration, everyone was expecting the things would be very smoothing. But frankly, in last 4 or 5 years, the volumes on exchanges has drastically, we have seen gains. The participation or volume has been rapidly increased. Maybe because of that, but yes, in last couple of years, there were issues related to the connectivities or we can say broadcast or files. But whenever we talk to our client, generally brokers, generally we come to know that there were delaying some files. But today definitely is going to be a very important day because already we have seen the n number of events are happening in global market, and during this panic-like situation was there in the morning because no one was know what is the next step when it is going to be resumed. And today was the delay was almost more than 4 hours. The trading has resumed around 1:25. But now things have been in control. We can say codes have been going very well. Trades have been smoothly going on. But yes, whenever this type of glitches come, definitely the sentiment or we can say the trades are being disturbed and definitely impacting the investor also and brokers also.
Well, absolutely. It does impact the broker and the investor as well, and not a good thing really, where you have no trading absolutely, and there's only one exchange in India does that so much of commodities. Mr. Somani, hi, what is your sense of, because even after 1:25, there were some reports that there are delays, and then it perhaps took another half an hour before we saw smooth trade come back to markets.
Yes, definitely, Manisha. As you said, there are series of instances where the glitches are happening every now and then. This is, I mean, second time in 4 months that the glitch is happening, and this time it was more than 4 hours. After even the market resumed, the orders were not getting executed instantly. Secondly, there were instances wherein the volatility was too much. Prices were trading at a gap of almost 300, 400 rupees in terms of gold and 200 rupees in terms of silver. We have a gap down of almost 2,000 rupees, and it indeed is a big pain for the traders who bought yesterday. So even everyone is a sufferer at the end of the day. Probably just because somebody has shot it, it is only the gainer for it. For the brokers, for the clients, for the hedgers, everywhere it was a kind of a mess initially. I think this has to be taken seriously. And the technical team has to be on the toes. As far as the exchange is concerned, this is one of the biggest exchange, the highest volume maker in terms of bullion. So overall, I think the things has to be taken care of.
Navneet, what is your sense and what did you and your clients face today? Because as is being said, people had positions being held. There was open interest on, and the way we saw gold, silver especially continue to decline, I assume, as Ajay also points out, it must have been a panic at one point in time.
Well, these two gentlemen have spoken about what the glitch was and the kind of duration we had to suffer, but largely it is silver expiry, silver mega contract and mini contract expiry today. And on the COMEX also, it's the expiry day for gold and silver contracts, which is leading to immense volatility in these counters. And as we have seen of late, there has been reasonable amount of volatility in the last few sessions for gold and silver, where correction has been very part of the everyday scenario. So I think in such a scenario, trading getting delayed or the start of the market getting delayed has triggered some kind of a panic. And during the 4 hours of gap, market probably on the international front corrected by about 2% for gold and about 1% for silver. That triggered more uncertainty and more difficulty for people who are having positions in the market. Had it been a normal day scenario, it wouldn't have mattered much. Of course, it would have, but not to the extent where markets opened with a gap of 2,000, 2,500 points for something like gold and silver. So that has led to some kind of uncertainty and jitters in the market. But eventually, technical issues have been there in the past also, and the companies come out victorious of the same. So we expect that these kind of issues can be taken care of and be mitigated in the future.
Well, that really is the hope that the company can or the exchange can come out of this and go back to normal trading in the years to come. Mr. Jain, hi, thank you so much for joining in. As you've heard all the brokerage representatives here, that it was unnerving. There was a panic in the markets as well. And on a day like this, when you have huge volatile moves coming in for the commodities, a 4.5 hour rather of a shutdown like this does not help anyone. My question to you really is on what is it that the Commodity Participation Association of India is going to be talking to exchanges? Does there need to be a plan B on this? What is it that can make it better and what measures need to be taken? So what is it that you are proposing to the exchange from here on?
Manisha ji, we talked to the management of the MCX today. They told us there is a problem in database of the system. That's why the market could not open for 4 hours. We just seek a meeting with the chairman of the MCX and probably going to be held in 2-3 days. They will suggest that there should be कि कुछ जो MCX कर रहा है वो एनफ नहीं है, उनको कुछ ना कुछ स्ट्रांगली करना पड़ेगा और इस सिस्टम को रेक्टिफाई करना पड़ेगा, because the problems are repeating again and again in the last 3 months, and the participants and clients are very much concerned about this. So this need to be done. MCX need to be done more. What they are doing is not enough, and I think this system should be rectified immediately.
Oh, well, absolutely. Mr. Jain, as you said, you've spoken to MCX top management and they say that there is a database issue onto this one. Is there more clarity that these kind of glitches can be taken care of and more measures are being put in place?
Yeah, of course. They told us that investigation is going on, and what the real cause that will come out by the end of the day or day after tomorrow, and then we'll work on it, and we'll meet with the chairman of the MCX along with the management. They will suggest what measures can be taken, but whatever जो भी आपको करना करिए, but that system should be completely robust and correct.
Ajay, as you said, as a situation like this puts in a lot of panic there, and there are more and more people now joining in commodities. There is more interest than ever before. We've seen record volumes come in. It was just about yesterday that we saw options on bullion index come in as well. We've seen huge movement come into the market. I get your point that the exchange has been around for a long time and would perhaps and always has come out victorious, as Navneet as well said. But this is the time that perhaps it needs to be more stricter on what really goes in. And an hour and half an hour and 15 minutes is a long enough time as well. But 4.5 hours is way too long to discuss.
But definitely, I think whenever we talk with exchange or even any brokers, whenever we speak to them, generally we have a backup plan of that could be resumed in 15-20 minutes or let's say 1 hour. But definitely, it's a 4 hour. It's a very long period. But I think exchange has already been in line with the technology team. But yes, the impact is worse because what is happening. Now prices are started moving lower, and with every day we have seen 2% downside. So generally the sentiment among the investors is being totally shaken, and I think morning around from 9 to at least by 10:30 also we were continuously on call because no one knows what is the opening, what will be the opening, and today now prices are gap down opening. So in this scenario, definitely exchange has to Rakesh ji has rightly spoken on this that exchange should have a plan B. We can say already they are taking their best effort. No one want to be in this limelight with the glitches. So I think they are taking their almost up. But frankly, one thing is very much clear: the volumes, what we have observed in commodity in last couple of years are very moments are quite high. Participation are improving. So I think maybe because of this, we have faced this type of connectivity or glitches.
Ajay, what is the kind of volume that we are looking at today now? I mean, I understand that much of the volume happens as the market opens, and then, of course, when there's a major movement and after the New York session opens as well. I mean, it's a long day for everybody who deals in commodities from 9 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. But is there a loss of volumes is what we've seen until time?
Yeah, because right now it's around closer to 4:30, 4:45. We have lost our 4 hour trading, and generally in last few couple of months we have seen China. Whenever the China market open, then the momentum is quite high in last couple of months. So first half is going to be very always is going to be very crucial, and that has been lost. Let's see what is the day volume, but I think the volatility is right now is too high right now, which is complementing the volumes also. But yes, 4 hours lost trading will be never recovered. Let's hope if things going be normal, it will be helpful. But definitely the cream period, we can say the first opening market because it is aligned with the Chinese market. So definitely it has been impacted.
Oh, well, yes. 4.5 hours of trading day lost, of course, is a loss of volumes as well. And there was a lot of panic. A lot of people could not close their positions and the markets kept falling when it comes to gold and silver. And that is where the major volumes also are. But the exchange has come out with various new products in this year. In that sense, it has been doing quite well. But what is it that the brokerage as a community looks at in sense of the kind of glitch that we have today? And what is a plan B that they would want to discuss with the exchange is something that we will talk after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Commodity Champions. We're discussing a day that wasn't so great, especially for the commodity derivative traders, where we saw MCX not open shop for at least 4.5 hours and only start to trade by 1:25 p.m. Mr. Jain, the year has been quite good, really, when you look at 2025 overall, because MCX as an exchange came out with 5 different products and instruments there. We've also seen volumes hit a string of all-time highs, given the fact that commodities itself has done quite well. But a day like this just dampens up or scares a bit. What is it that the exchanges overall need to do? We do understand that SEBI has a regulation, has measures in place in time of technical glitches across exchanges therein. We do understand that, as you said, in next couple of days, we'll have more clarity on what really happened, why it happened, and how is the exchange really looking to counter it. But from where we stand right now, What is it that you would want to propose to the exchange and the regulator in an event like this?
Yes, Manisha ji, this is a matter of a great concern for our participants or for clients or for CPI, because uh, in today's scenario, the market is going well and the volumes will increase in the coming years also. MCX is doing very well, but these glitches are not acceptable because the market should not be halt at any cost. So we'll suggest to the MCX कि भी you should make arrangements कि भी किसी भी कीमत पे किसी भी हालत में मार्केट बंद नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि उन केसेस में हमारे जो क्लाइंट्स हैं और पार्टिसिपेंट्स वो सफर करते हैं। तो इस तरह का कोई ना कोई मेजर होना चाहिए। इसके लिए नेक्स्ट 1-2 दिन में जो भी मीटिंग्स होंगी हम इसमें सजेशन देंगे और समझेंगे कि भी व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम एंड हाउ इट कैन बी सोल्ड आउट।
Navneet, just to get a sense, we do understand that there have been some technical glitches instances in other exchanges as well. Nothing as long, because this is the longest glitch ever that we've seen in an Indian exchange come in. With 4.5 hours of that, what is it that SEBI usually has in sense of a measure? Because we do understand there are penalties, there are fines perhaps on exchanges as well. When you talk about disaster recovery side, that does mean that it's a generator of sorts. If nothing seems to be working here, the disaster recovery side should immediately come up. But that took 4 hours today.
Well, SEBI has set a set of parameters and mechanism already in place, and after 1 hour of trigger, there is some penalty which has been imposed on the exchanges. And mind you, MCX trades for about 15 to 16 hours long a day, and volumes in the exchange has gone up very significantly over the last couple of years. So I must take the side of the exchange also, that they have done a fantastic job of getting a lot of volumes on the exchange, a lot of participants on the exchange, and the kind of momentum we've seen in some commodities that has been part of the MCX as well as the growth story of the Indian domestic commodities market also. But these kind of glitches technically has taken some bit of say excess steam which has happened in the last few days and weeks. I typically think that MCX as a team are also as worried as the exchange participants as well as the CPI, which are going to represent the broker forum and take some concrete measures. But I think I would leave it rest for the CPI and the exchange team to have it in place and discuss it with SEBI, and what are the mitigations and what are the better opportunities that they can have in place, where the systems can be up and live in a matter of no time, where the DR site, if there is an alternate for a DR site which also is needed, that also has to be in place. So these kind of technically what has to be done and needs to be done, because 4.5 hour of gap is definitely not acceptable. But I think they will be the best judge to come up with an answer over the next couple of days.
Navneet, I absolutely take your point home. You know, if 15 minutes and a half an hour and 1 hour is something that you let go, but 4.5 hours where almost a productive day goes for a toss is the reason that we're talking to you guys as well. Longest delay yet when we have seen in an exchange not opening up on time there. Mr. Somani, this one is to you. And I absolutely take Navneet's other point as well. An exchange wouldn't want to be in this position where they are when everything seems to be going well for them. Today it does it comes out as a day which can be absolutely avoided, would you say?
Definitely what Navneet says is exactly true. The exchange did added value to the commodities, because I mean the volume, the way volumes are generated, the volumes are flared, the options are flourished, everything added to the broker's kitty. I mean, if you trade a single lot in gold, it adds volume of 2.5 crore rupees. None of the exchanges in India that gives so much of volume. So definitely exchanges perform very well, but since the volumes have shifted from equity market to the agri market to this MCX exchange, we need to be very vigilant. This 4-hour delay is almost 1/3 of the day, and that's a big hit. I mean, that to be taken care of. The disaster recovery side should not take more than half an hour, and that should be the case. That is what the disaster is all about. So that needs to be taken care. Plus, I mean, the exchange would be more in appropriate position to come out with what technical glitches is all about this.
Well, yes, it is day one, and I'm assuming the exchange would be working hard on this and should give them a couple of days to understand on what really went wrong, so that, and obviously they are answerable to all the trading members therein as well. Ajay, the way commodity markets have been, and it's been a couple of decades and a stronger one at that, and yes, MCX needs all the credit for that, because almost 95 to 98% of the overall volumes do actually happen on MCX right now. With the way we are moving, and if we keep this day aside for a minute here, how are you looking at the overall Indian commodity markets, the kind of volumes, the push that the SEBI has been making? whether it is about deliverable contracts and then, of course, the indexes as well. How do you look at this growth going forward?
Yeah, I think since 2003 onwards, we have seen a greater rally of commodity volumes in India. We have already seen the rally from 2003 to 2008, 9, 10. There was a tremendous volumes and participation was there. Then we have already seen CTT and impact also. But frankly, in last 10 years, since SEBI has been a regulator for commodity, we have seen n number of new product introduction. Even UCC has increased. No doubt, participation are increasing now. Mutual fund are also participating. So I think the overall living through today's instant. Overall, I think still there is a good way has been pending for commodity market. What we see international market, and there is a vast difference from international and domestic market, because in India we are commodity commodity rich country. I think there is a various participants are still pending from tier 2, tier 3. So I think humongous opportunities are being there in commodity market for India, but definitely still today's glitch shows that where actually we are standing and where we have to be improving, because the volumes are going to be increased, participation are going to be increased, but this type of glitch has to be taken care so that trades or participate or trust would be continue to be there for commodity.
Mr. Jain, this one is to you then. And every time there is a glitch, which is far and few, by the way, but every time that there is, we see some brokerages come out and say, oh, MCX is not working. You could trade in BSE and NSE for that matter. And today that happened many a times. There were things being pushed on X and a lot of messages moving around on WhatsApp as well that you could be trading on other exchanges. Why is it done only on these days? Because yes, there is a commodity platform alive and kicking on BSE and NSE as well, but there's not much trade. There's very low liquidity and not too much trade done there. Why do we wait for these kind of days? Why isn't commodity as overall pushed? This is a day that reminds you that monopoly perhaps is not the best idea.
Yeah, of course, Manisha ji, monopoly is not a good idea, no doubt. But now the NSE and BSE both are coming in commodities also. But there is a lot, volumes are very less. Secondly, the products which are running on the MCX is not on the NSE. NSE के ऊपर पूरे product नहीं है जो MCX के ऊपर हैं, इसलिए उसके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रेड नहीं हो पाता है. और अगर इस तरह के ग्लिचेज में हम उधर स्विच ओवर भी नहीं कर सकते हैं क्योंकि वो प्रोडक्ट अवेलेबल ही नहीं है. But over a period, the future of the commodity market is very bright. हमारे जो अभी नए चेयरमैन ऑफ सेबी जो आए हैं उनका भी व्यू बड़ा क्लियर है. ही वांट टू बी दिस कमोडिटी मार्केट टू बी डेवलप्ड वेरी फास्ट. हम लोग उनसे मिले थे तो उन्होंने एग्री कमोडिटी के लिए भी 2 कमेटीज का फॉर्मेशन किया था जिसमें डिस्कशन चल रहे हैं. दे वांट की जो एग्री कमोडिटीज में वॉल्यूम्स घट गए हैं वो वापस आने चाहिए और कमोडिटी मार्केट ग्रो करनी चाहिए. So we are working on that, and the SEBI is also very positive on that. So I feel in the future the commodity market will rise, growth will be there, and we will ensure with the MCX with this type of the glitches should not be, happen again at any cost. So this is our motto.
All right, Mr. Jain, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Ajay and Mr. Somani and Navneet for joining in as well for that discussion. I understand it's a difficult day for all of you. All of you do a lot of commodity volumes on the exchange therein as well. And while the exchange volumes have been increasing, as we spoke about today, the issues in some sense have been increasing as well. And today's 4.5-hour glitch does not do well at all at a time when the markets are volatile. But we do understand that right now, the trade is running smooth. It will be very interesting to see on how 9 a.m. arrives for most of us in the day tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining in today. And with that, that's all the time that we have on this episode of Commodity Champions. Thank you for watching.